Right, welcome to the video. So this is going to be another decode today. I think I said at the end of my last video that I'll likely be done with decoding, but I think every time I say that, like an hour later, the Holy Spirit will put something in my mind as I'm walking with my dog, and something I've thought of previously but couldn't figure out. It'll just come to me. So again, this deco is not going to be particularly relevant to the church. It'll have some relevance, but I think the greater importance of this decode is going to be to the tribulation saints or those left behind. But I think for the believers, the current believers, this is just going to be another interesting video. So before I begin here, I'll just read a quick and simple gospel. John chapter 3, verse 16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. And that's all you have to do. All you have to do is believe. It doesn't matter how good of a person you've been in your life, or how often you've gone to church, or how often you given to charity. There's no equation of good things that you've done in your life to bad that results in salvation. Your only way to salvation is believing in Christ's sacrifice on the cross. That is the only way. These are the narrow gate. It's a free gift, and all you have to do is accept it. That's all it is. Okay, so today we're just gonna be looking at again Karma by Taylor Swift. I think I've covered this video in like at least two other videos of mine, but I had a bit of new revelation, so we're just gonna look at it. So I'm gonna play this scene first. This is the only scene we're gonna be looking at. So you have her, she's holding a light bulb here, and then you have this numerical. So you have 1, 3, and then 5. And then the light bulbs burst. So I've been thinking about the scene for quite a while now, as the most like relevant thing involved in the scene is like the lights bursting, which if you've watched Leave the World Behind or have seen like the Simpsons Rapture episode, the 3 days of darkness is very prevalent in their symbolism, as well as like the power outages, the grid going down. So I knew it had something to do with that, but I'll just go over what I got wrong first, and then we'll kind of talk about it. So, so you see the sequence. You have 1, 3, and then 5. So I originally thought this could pretty much only be one date in specifically. So if we have 1, 3, 5, we're going to assume we're looking at the 13th month. And with the time period we're looking at right now, that could literally only be the Torah calendar, which for Jewish calendars, they have 13 months in a leap year. And this is the only calendar in a leap year, I believe. So looking at if we had 13/5, this is quite literally the only date we could be looking at, which is March 5th and then March 6th on the Gregorian, which is the standard calendar. So obviously that's come to pass, so that's not it. However, I do believe, I'll just move that over there actually. I do believe that this is important, but I think it's out of order. So I think it is, in fact, 3, 1, and then 5. So you have your March 15th. So I'll kind of show you why I believe that's the case. So we'll go back to the very start of the scene. So nothing in this scene is by accident, I believe. So right away they show you what it looks like. You would think this is the sun, with like the yellow, and she's got the light here, but you would think this is the sun, but I couldn't find any relevant correlation to the sun. But we're going to assume that what we're being shown here is the full moon. Perhaps this like light bar is just like kind of signaling like the like completion or full moon. So we're going to go to Stellarium here. That's not it. And so we're on March 14th, 2025, and there's our blood moon right here. And we're just going to go forward to the 15th. So we have the moon appears full for 3 days after the technical full moon. So technically we're still kind of in the full moon phase here, and our moon is right beside Virgo. So looking at this now, you have her holding that up. So what I believe is being signaled here is just like the full moon, and then she is Virgo. So there's our full moon in Virgo right there. And that is on the date which we got from taking this out of order. So our 315. So pretty interesting with that. And the only other thing I got from the scene is she's wearing gold. So you have to when you kind of analyze these things, you have to think that like nothing is there by accident. So we take gold here. and we put it in our gematria. So gold, I don't like doing this very often because I think a lot of people kind of see this as contrived, like moving numbers around and such in the ordinal and reverse. The Exalted Lamb does this like excellently. But so what we're going to be looking at here is we have three, so we're going to assume that's our March, and then we have 8 and 7, so we're just going to add that. So pretty easily we have our 3/15, so our March 15th, and we got that from gold pretty easily. So we're going to assume there's no coincidences here, and with the gold, the kind of like the 135, we're going to assume what we're being shown here is 315. So everything's kind of pointing towards that within this scene. But yeah, that's pretty well. And I'm going to look at my kind of timeline here. So if you watch my previous video, you'll see that I have kind of like a rejig timeline here, and with the kind of lights out, like 3 Days of Darkness, your Leave the World Behind event, that really does just fit perfectly in here with these like events being very compressed. So I could definitely see this as being the progression of events. So given that that symbolism points towards this date, it all just fits in very well. So the next thing we're going to look at here is like not necessarily going to reinforce this completely, but it's again just like interesting. Uh, I don't usually like doing these videos unless I have like a lot of ammo per se, but this one I just felt kind of like compelled to do because I feel like this is going to be useful to someone, even though I don't have as much kind of information as I'd like to have. But yeah, the second thing we're going to be looking at here is this movie poster from the movie Rapture in 2019, and if you haven't heard from it, that's because this is like a very low budget indie film. Even though I think the enemy has a hand in everything in society, so it doesn't surprise me that you'll have like a low budget film that still has quite a great deal of symbolism in it. So as always, we're gonna just kind of like work our way down from most obvious symbolism to least. So right off the bat here, this sticks out like a sore thumb. You have 1, 3, and then it looks like 2, but we're going to make the assumption that this is a upside down V. So V in Roman numerals is 5. So then we would have 1, 3, 5. And we're going to further make the assumption that this is out of order. So then we have our 3, 1, 5, which falls right in line with what we were looking at with the karma video there. So that's our kind of correlation there. Again, like two dots don't make a line, but given that this is all I kind of have at the moment, and that karma fit in very well with the dates and the stellarium kind of locations, like we're gonna go on the assumption that this is right. So we have and it has like electricity, or like it's. So I'll give you kind of a recap of the movie. It's kind of like an evil spin on the Rapture. So instead of like the believers being taken, that's essentially like you have these evil like lightning strikes coming down and just killing people. It's like a satanic spin on the Rapture. It looked terrible in the trailer, but yeah. So since we have like the kind of like electricity connotation there, same as we had with here, like the exact same kind of electricity. We're going to assume that these are connected, and they are in fact pointing at that kind of lights out, leave the world behind event being on our 315 to 314, right around that area, but particularly is 315. We're going to place that in there. Fits nicely. We're going to go on that. And yeah, so if we work our way kind of down, we have the red, all red for Rapture. That's definitely signaling our Pi blood moon, which is on March 14th. You have this lady down here. She's got a blue dress. You see her in the trailer as well, so there's definitely some importance. Sorry, but so the blue dress, we have our blue elements of that moon, then you have the blood moon, so there's our blue blood moon there. She's wearing daisies on the dress, which I think I looked this up earlier. Let's go. National Daisy Day. I think it's January 28th. So this wouldn't really even be relevant on our Julian calendar. Like it's just too far in the past. But yeah, so the very, very interesting I think I noticed here is just from like my time spent in the military, this stuck out to me pretty easily. But I think for a lot of people, this would be really well hidden. So you essentially have like three sort of depth markers here. You have one car almost aligned with three signs. So that's our first depth. Then you have another car, which is again like at the same depth as that sign. So there's our second depth. And then you have the third car, and then four signs, which is our third depth. So if we just follow our three depths, we have three with the three signs, one, and then four. So wouldn't you know it, there's our pi blood moon date right there. And yeah, that's very, very well hidden, but yeah, it falls right in line with everything we've been looking at. Especially if you follow Raw Repent, he has like hundreds of symbolism pointing to our pi blood moon. It's just incredible. So yeah, that's very, very, very interesting. And the other interesting thing I found from this is let's go over to the date calculator here. So we have the date the movie was released, so January 3rd, 2019. And then we're going to put in not our assumed date of 3/15, but we're going to put in the date which they like kind of like the surface level date, like what they oh, it's up there. What they're kind of showing us in an obvious way. So we get some pretty nutty strong concordances with this. So I'm just gonna first we're gonna look at 6 years, 2 months, 2 days. Let's put that in our strongs. So 622. And the Strong's Concordance for these dates are just incredible. It's like 4 for 4 on like rapture tribulation references. So we have 622 to gather, collect, and then down here we have to destroy or to convey the idea of destruction, loss, or perishing. So I'm finding this like very often, but we have like quite literally the inverse here of or like the other side of the coin of the events surrounding like the rapture and tribulation. So right here you have like the saints and the believers getting gathered, and then down here you have the destruction. So you have like all the events in First and Second Thessalonians like right here. It's just incredible. This 622 in Strong's like that one's just kind of mind blowing. And then like the next one might even be more mind blowing. But we're gonna go to the days. So we have 2,253 days. And this one is I believe, one-time occurrence in the entire Bible here. So we have Hebrew, hiding place, refers to a place of concealment or refuge. And we're going to go to the only verse that this appears in the entire Bible. So Habakkuk 3:4. And his brightness was as the light. He had horns coming out of his hand, and there was the hiding of his power. So hiding there's heaven where the believers are taken before the tribulation, and then you have horns, which is your last trump reference right there. So you have a very, very relevant rapture verse right there, which is yeah, just incredible that you get to not one but three like relevant strong concordances from where's that date? Oh, I'm on the date calculator. I was looking for it, but I was on it. But yeah, from that and like we even might go 4 for 4 here, depending on how relevant you deem this to be. But let's type in. So we have 74 months, 2 days. Let's fire that in there. Did I say 20? 74? 742? Yeah, 742. That was 724. Okay, 742. And then down here you have Erid. I don't know how to say it. Eriday. Seems irrelevant, but then you look referring to one of the sons of Haman, which the antagonist in the book of Esper. This is Esther. Sorry, this is the one of the 10 sons that were hung, and Adar and during Adar on the day, the 13th or 14th day. So this is like literally our around our pi blood moon. So this date correlations for this movie release to that date is just incredible. It's like 4 for 4 on like extremely relevant words. So yeah, really, really interesting. Like even though that didn't like add a whole lot to our 315 kind of like lights out prediction, like just the words alone were just incredible. So yeah, very, very, very interesting on that. That's a line of thought, but yeah, that's pretty well everything I had to show today. Again, I'm not going to say this is my last decode because I know it won't be, and I kind of like that the decoding I'm doing now is like not going to be particularly relevant to the church, but more so to the tribulation saints. And yeah, I'll just probably keep putting that out. So I hope you guys still find it interesting, even though it's not going to be too relevant to the believers. But Yeah, thank you for watching, and I'm gonna have another video out probably shortly, which is gonna just pertain to making Left Behind kits, which is gonna be very, very important. So stay tuned for that one. Hit the little alarm bell on the beside my name there, and yeah, please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. And tell your friends. God bless. Thank you.